So you picked up FM24 and now you're thinking, who do I go and manage? I understand the feeling, and so I'm here to help. Here are my 5 save suggestions for this year's game. And so my first save suggestion is here. We are in Japan in the J-League with, of course, the J-League now being officially licensed in this year's game. It feels like the right time to go and do a save in Japan. So I've done thorough research. I have scouted through every single team in the Japanese J-Leagues, and I've come to the conclusion that you should do a save with Sagan Tosu. Now, I hear you ask, why Sagan Tosu? It's because they've got a really nice kit. I like their kits. Also, they've got a really cool badge. Now, is that all? Yeah, kind of. Actually, I think lots of the teams that you could go and do in the J-League would make for a really fun save. Sagan Tosu took my fancy mainly because of their aesthetic, which I think is a big thing. Seriously, I don't know if you guys agree, but I actually do consider these things when I think about the team that I want to go and manage. I also, though, did have a look at their history and realised that they're not one of the big teams in Japan, and they're not a title winner. In fact, I'm not sure they've ever actually won a title. Let's have a look at their competitions. Have they ever won the J-League? No, they haven't. They've never won the league in their history. Their best and most recent achievement was finishing runners-up in the second league in Japan. So I think you've got a save here that is a bit of a challenge. You've got the opportunity to go and make history with the club. You can see in their history, they came up to the top division in 2011. They've stayed there, but kind of hovering around mid-table, down in 15th in 2019, up to 7th, up to their best position was 5th in 2014 and 2012. You've got the opportunity to go and make history. You can go and win the league for the first time. Maybe that can go and get you a job elsewhere and turn it into a bit of a journeyman save. I think that would be really, really interesting. A really unique adventure and something I'd be really tempted to do. I did toy with the idea of maybe going to Yokohama Marinos and doing the Ange Postecoglou thing. I actually noticed as well, they've got an Australian manager at the moment in Cameron Schofield. Is Ange listed as, he's not even listed as a favoured personnel. This was his team, right? Yokohama Marinos. Maybe you could go do that, but I actually had a look at the season preview and they were predicted to finish quite high. Maybe that added challenge of going with Sagan Tosu is what would tempt me into this one. This is my first save. I hope you take some inspiration from it, but if not, I've got an idea. In today's video, I'd like to make the comment section down below a bit of a haven of inspiration. If you don't agree with the save suggestions that I'm putting forward and you don't like the teams that I'm suggesting you go and manage, maybe have a scroll through the comment section. And if you guys put all of your save suggestions there, I'm sure you'll find something that takes your fancy and we can help each other out. So get those comments down below. Who are you managing? Who are you thinking about managing? Or even if you just think this would be a really fun save, let us know. And then we're definitely going to find a save for everyone. Right. Also, whilst you're here, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the support on the recent videos. We are aiming for 60,000 subscribers and we're not that far away. I think we can do it with the hype and the buzz that is around FM24's release. Thank you so much for being here. Please do subscribe to the channel. Loads of videos coming soon, including maybe a DOF save in the future, another movie coming up, and of course, continuing the Newcastle save that we are streaming over on Twitch and then doing season uploads here on YouTube. Thank you for being here. Please do subscribe. Let's get back to these save suggestions. Next up, a team that is close to my heart, a team that I've done saves with countless times in the past, and one that is very tempting as a save in FM24. It's Hertha Berlin, Hertha BSC, down in the second division of Germany now, the Bundesliga 2, and I think that in itself makes for a tempting save. The fact, though, that they've had such a torrid time of it recently with such issues, financial issues, they've had takeovers that have just not been very good. They were, of course, relegated last season, so now down in the second division. With the fact that Union Berlin are doing so well, they're city rivals, and showing them really how things have done. The fact that they play at the Olympiastadion in Berlin, the history is there. This team, I think, makes for a really, really intriguing save. One that can be quite fun. I know it's fun because I've done it previously as a save, not starting in the second division, but when you get to the Bundesliga, you also have all of the fun of doing a Bundesliga save. You can register players from all over the world. I once did a save with Hertha Berlin, who I turned into Hertha Brazil, and I only had Brazilian players, and we managed to go and win everything, basically, with just Brazilian players. The fact that that's an option in Germany means you can have a lot of fun with this. You'll also eventually have decent money because the TV money, the sponsorship money in Germany, in the Bundesliga, is really, really good. So I think this is a great save. They are predicted, I believe, to finish top of the league. So you should be able to create something, go up, and then you've got that chance to try and build and overtake Union Berlin, perhaps even eventually overtake Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Can you get them into the Champions League? Can you take them to where they should be for a club as big as they are, playing in Berlin, you know, the capital of Germany? They're also, by the way, if you just look at their profile here, if we have a look at their history, they're such a strange up and down team. You can see, look, they go down, come back up, go down, come back up. And then eventually, look, they've just been on a slide recently from finishing up in 6th in 2017 to now finishing, well, they finished dead bottom last year in the Bundesliga, 18th and relegated. Can you get them back up? Can you go and do something special with Hertha Berlin? I think it's a great save. You should go and do it. I return to England for my next team that I suggest you go and manage in this year's game. And that is going to be one of the 2 teams that have points deductions. I'm going to go for Reading. They've been deducted 4 points for this season. There is also an awful lot of turmoil at the club. An owner that doesn't really want to be there. Off-field issues, lots of them going on. And the fact that they start on -4 points, -4, means I think you've got a real challenge on your hands. And those of you that like a challenge, I think this one is tempting. Reading, they were, of course, previously a Premier League team. You could say the same as well, I suppose, about Wigan. I think that's also a really tempting save here. But I'm going to go for Reading as this suggestion. I think they've got, I mean, where are they predicted to finish here, even with the points deduction? They are predicted to finish up in 11th. So they've got a squad there that you can work with. Of course, they've come down, been relegated from the Championship last season. They've got a squad that you can work with, I think. There's players here that you can get a tune out of in League One and hopefully start that upwards journey. I think you can be aiming to, you know, with all FM saves, you're aiming to get, can you get them to the Premier League? Can you go even further than that? There's talented footballers that play for Reading. And with the points deduction, I think you're giving yourself a nice bit of a challenge. So they make my list as my 3rd team that I suggest you go and manage in FM24. Again, I'm going to call for you again. If you disagree with this, let me know who you think you should go and manage in this year's game. What are your save suggestions? Get them in the comments down below as we move through to number 4 on my list. And in at number 4 is a team in France. It's Lyon. Now, I've been very much influenced by what is happening in real life when choosing this team. They find themselves, as I record this, rock bottom of Ligue 1 in France. They are really struggling. They are without a win in their first 9 games of this new season. And I think that in itself presents an opportunity for you to go and do better in Football Manager. They have really good players at this club, but they're struggling in real life. Is that going to happen to you in FM24, or are you going to do better? And even if you're thinking, well, they're probably not going to be that bad in the game, right? You've also then got the problem that PSG exists. You've got that problem of trying to overcome Paris Saint-Germain. I think with the real life things that are going on and the fact that PSG exists and Ligue 1 is always a challenge in itself in a strange sort of way, I think this is a really fun save. Definitely go and have a look at Lyon and consider, is this the save for you? I love some of the players that play for them as well. Players like Maxence Kakare did brilliantly the under 21 Euros. Really was impressed with him. I like him a lot. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is there. Some great players. And Dejan Lovren play for Lyon. So you should go and manage them. They are my 4th suggestion. Can you do better than they're doing in real life at the moment? Surely you can. Also, look at that 3rd kit. Funky. I like it. I just want to add to the reasoning for Lyon a little bit, actually, in that they were massively successful in the early 2000s. They won back-to-back league titles between 2002 and 2008. But that was the last time they did win the title. PSG emerged as a greater force after these years, and they've been struggling to win the league since then, even though teams like Montpellier have been able to go and do it. Lyon need returning to the top of this pile. They were so dominant in this period. They had such great players as well. I just seem to remember Juninho, right? The free kick taker Juninho was about the club at this time. Can you return them to that sort of dominance? That has to be the challenge. And the history, plus the fact of what they're doing in real life, I think it's a great save for FM24. And the final team that I suggest you should go and start a Football Manager 2024 save with is Brighton. I've actually added myself as the manager to show you why I've chosen Brighton for this one. Some of you might be thinking, oh, it's so obvious. It's Brighton. It's Premier League. I get it, which is why I've given you 4 other suggestions. And also there's going to be so many in the comments down below, right? This, though, is why I suggest you go and sign or start a save, with Brighton. It's because of their transfer budget being £80 million. Some of us just want to have fun on Football Manager. And I think if that is you, if you just want to go and get out of your system and spend loads of money and sign all the best players, Brighton might be the club to go and do it at. Of course, this is because they've sold Moises Caicedo bringing in 100 million plus from Chelsea. You've got the money to spend right at the start of the game. 80 million pounds after they've made their actual signings is a nice position to be in. And of course, the storyline around Brighton is really, really good at the moment. They are doing this money ball type thing. They've got Ansu Fati, which is exciting. Mitoma is also looking a lot better on this year's game. They've had a big boost to their players that performed well last year. They're really tempting, I think, anyway. And then the fact that they've got 80 million pounds to go and spend makes them, if you want to have fun, this is the save for you. Where can you take Brighton? Will you adopt the same philosophy that they have of signing these unknown players, turning them into world beaters and then selling them on for a huge price? If you can kind of restrict yourself to that, I think you've got a really fun save in the making here. So they've made my list. The 5th club I suggest you go and manage is Brighton. Hopefully there's some inspiration in the 5 teams that I've suggested in today's video. Let me know, though, who you suggest in the comments down below, and I'm sure together we can make a really comprehensive list of save ideas for Football Manager 2024. That's where we'll leave it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As I said before, please do subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 60,000 subscribers, which is mental, but I feel like we can do it. So please do subscribe. There's loads of videos on their way as well. And if you want to support even more, a little plug in today's video, the Claytreon is the place to do that. The Patreon, I put all of my save files, all of my tactics, all of the views, all of the skins that I use, etc., on the Claytreon. You also get your name at the end of the video, like these guys here. It helps me massively. Thank you so much for all of our current Claytreon members. If you want to do so, click the link in the description of today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.